Beneath the waves, where sunlight dies and silence reigns, a new kind of predator is being born. Forged from nearly 8 million kilograms of steel, invisible to sonar, and armed with the power to erase cities, it is the most advanced submarine the United States has ever conceived. Hidden inside guarded shipyards, this machine represents the future of warfare, a vessel so quiet it can move through oceans unseen. When it finally sails, it will not just defend the nation, it will redefine what dominance beneath the sea truly means. The rise of the silent titans. She is colossal, elegant, and terrifying. The Virginia-class submarine represents the perfection of American engineering beneath the sea. Every plate of her hull was welded with the precision of a surgeon's hand. At 115 meters long and more than 7,000 tons submerged, she is less a ship than a living organism, a creature evolved for silence. The ocean is her camouflage, her ally, and her home. To the untrained eye, she is just a cylinder of steel. But within that hull lies a city in miniature, a world of nuclear power, digital control, and human endurance. Every system aboard the Virginia exists to fulfill one mission: remain unseen. She was built not to display strength but to hide it. Her hull is coated in acoustic tiles that swallow sound, her machinery suspended on isolators that prevent even a whisper from escaping into the sea. The Virginia class was born from necessity. In the 1990s, the Cold War had ended, and the United States Navy faced shrinking budgets. Its newest submarine, the Seawolf class, was unmatched in capability but ruinous in cost. At nearly $4 billion apiece, only 3 were ever built. The Navy needed a design that could hunt like a seawolf but could be produced at scale. Thus began the project that would define 21st century undersea warfare. The Virginia-class changed everything about how submarines were built. Instead of being crafted in a single yard, construction was split between Electric Boat in Connecticut and Newport News Shipbuilding in Virginia. Each built separate modules and exchanged them, joining the finished sections like puzzle pieces. It was the beginning of modular submarine manufacturing, a process that remains the backbone of American naval production. The Navy could now deliver 2 boats a year, something once thought impossible. Her systems were no less revolutionary. The Virginia became the first submarine designed entirely on computers. Every pipe, wire, and cable was modeled in 3-dimensional space before a single piece of steel was cut. Inside her control room, the old periscope was gone. In its place rose photonics masts that could extend and rotate freely, feeding digital imagery into massive high-resolution displays. The effect was transformative. The days of an officer squinting through a narrow optical lens were gone. In its place stood a panoramic command center, a digital theater of war beneath the sea. At her core lies the S9G reactor, a marvel of nuclear efficiency. It will power her for 3 decades without ever needing refueling. The pump jet propulsion system it drives produces minimal turbulence, granting her a level of stealth unmatched by any foreign submarine. In combat, silence is survival, and in silence, Virginia is supreme. Her weaponry is precise and merciless. 4 21-inch torpedo tubes can unleash Mark 48 heavyweight torpedoes capable of tracking and shattering targets miles away. Her 12 vertical launch tubes carry Tomahawk cruise missiles, weapons that can strike a single building 1,000 miles inland. Each can be fired in rapid succession, delivering destruction without warning. Yet power alone is not what makes Virginia lethal. It is her flexibility. She can deliver Navy SEALs through hidden lockout chambers, deploy undersea drones through her torpedo tubes, or linger for months in hostile waters gathering intelligence. She is a ghost that watches before she strikes. Still, even Virginia's perfection is not enough. As the oceans grow more contested and new rivals rise, America has begun building something a submarine not just quieter, but smarter. The Navy calls it the SSN-X, and within its frame lies the blueprint for the next century of naval warfare. But what could possibly make the SSN-X so formidable that even Virginia will one day seem obsolete? The legacy of the Cold War hunters. Before the Virginia class, there was the USS Los Angeles, the first of a dynasty that ruled the oceans during the Cold War. She was born into an age of paranoia and precision, when 2 superpowers listened for each other through miles of salt water and silence. Her mission was simple but existential: ensure that America could always strike back. Launched in the 1970s, the Los Angeles was an engineering marvel. 362 feet long and nuclear-powered, she could cross the Pacific without surfacing. Her S-6G reactor gave her near-limitless endurance. Diesel submarines had to surface to breathe, Los Angeles did not. She was invisible, tireless, and deadly. Inside her hull, sailors lived in tight quarters, surrounded by steel and steam. The control room glowed with red light, sonar operators hunched over their displays, listening for the faintest trace of an enemy screw. Their ears became instruments of war. In this world, sound was everything. A single misjudged frequency could betray them to the Soviets. Her armament made her a predator. For torpedo tubes could fire the Mark 48, a weapon designed to chase and kill anything that moved underwater. Later variants gained vertical launch cells, allowing them to fire Tomahawk missiles and strike land targets. It transformed the submarine from a hunter of ships to a global strike platform. But it was not just the hardware that defined her legacy. It was the people. Crews aboard the Los Angeles lived in perpetual tension, their missions often classified even from their families. They learned to navigate by instinct, to repair by touch, to trust each other completely. They were the ghosts who guarded the coastlines of nations that never knew their names. Over time, 62 Los Angeles-class boats joined the fleet, each a refinement of the last. Some carried upgraded sonar, others reinforced hulls for Arctic patrols. Their adaptability kept them relevant through 4 decades of shifting threats. By the time the lead ship was decommissioned in 2011, she had served across eras: Cold War deterrence, post-Soviet surveillance, and the dawn of the War on Terror. Her steel was recycled, but her spirit flowed into the next generation. The Virginia-class carried her lessons forward, combining her strength with software intelligence and modular design. But even that was not the end of evolution. Somewhere in America's naval laboratories, engineers began sketching something new: a machine designed not merely to survive the future, but to dominate it. If Los Angeles represented endurance and Virginia represented precision, what does the SSN-X represent, and what new kind of war is it being built to fight? The return of the giants. The oceans are changing. The Cold War ended, but competition never disappeared, it simply dove deeper. Russia continues to build fast, quiet submarines. China has constructed entire fleets that patrol the South China Sea. The Atlantic and the Pacific are no longer safe havens but contested frontiers. For America, control beneath the waves has always meant control of the world's trade routes, its cables, and its deterrence. Submarines are the unseen foundation of power. Without them, satellites can be blinded, ships cornered, and fleets silenced. That is why the United States is now developing a new generation of submarines larger, quieter, and more intelligent than anything before. The first is the Columbia-class ballistic missile submarine, a vessel designed to carry the nation's ultimate weapon. Nearly 560 feet long and displacing more than 20,000 tons, the USS District of Columbia will replace the aging Ohio-class boomers. She is not built to hunt. She is built to disappear. Her mission is deterrence, to ensure that no enemy ever considers a first strike. Inside her steel hull will rest 16 Trident D5 missiles, each capable of crossing oceans and carrying multiple warheads. Her nuclear reactor will power her for 4 decades without refueling, and her integrated electric drive will make her quieter than any submarine before her. The Columbia is less a ship than a doomsday vault, a silent promise that even if America falls, the answer will still come from the sea. But the Navy knows deterrence is not enough. A second fleet must exist to hunt the hunters, to guard the giants, and to strike before threats surface. That fleet is what the SSN-X will become, the spiritual successor to both the Los Angeles and the Virginia, merging their lessons into a single unstoppable force. Its purpose is simple: ocean superiority. In plain terms, that means the ability to sense more, move faster, and strike first. Engineers call it the apex predator of the deep. To achieve it, they are designing a vessel capable of commanding entire undersea networks, controlling fleets of unmanned drones, and surviving in environments where older submarines would falter. The SSN-X will not rely on incremental improvement. It will represent a leap in propulsion, sonar, and computing power. Its hull form is being modeled for both high-speed and near-zero acoustic signature, a contradiction that only the most advanced materials and computer modeling can solve. Its nuclear reactor will likely last the entire life of the ship, freeing it from the decades-old cycle of refueling. But building a vessel like this is not just a question of engineering, it is a question of will. Each one may cost $7 to $8 billion, an investment so massive that even Congress debates its necessity. Yet history shows that the nation that commands the oceans commands the world. So what kind of mind dares to design a submarine that must remain invisible to everything, even the future itself? The design philosophy of simplicity. Walk around the Model 2 of the Sea, the Virginia class, and you see Tesla's philosophy mirrored in steel. There are no ornaments, no wasted features, just a perfect balance between strength and silence. That same mindset defines the new generation of submarines taking shape today. The Columbia and the SSN-X share a common creed: simplicity is survival. Every unnecessary component is a potential noise source, a weakness in the chain of invisibility. The hulls are smooth, featureless, and hydrodynamic, sculpted not for beauty but for disappearance. Inside, the layouts are logical and spare, designed to minimize human error and mechanical friction. The control rooms resemble digital nerve centers rather than the crowded spaces of the Cold War. Large screens replace banks of gauges. Artificial intelligence assists in sonar interpretation, filtering thousands of signals into patterns that human operators can understand. Every system can be updated through software rather than hardware, keeping the vessel evolving long after it leaves the yard. Even life aboard these submarines has transformed. Crews still live in tight spaces, but technology now lightens the load. Noise-canceling designs create a rare quiet, filtered air keeps the atmosphere pure, and LED lighting simulates day and night to preserve mental rhythm. These details seem small, but they shape endurance, the difference between fatigue and focus after months beneath the sea. The philosophy extends comfort. It defines maintenance. By simplifying systems, designers reduce the number of moving parts, making submarines easier to repair in isolation. Every bolt, cable, and circuit is accessible, every mechanism redundant. The ship itself becomes a machine built to heal, not just to fight.